He Said, She Said, They Said podcast. You're here with Kelly and
Jessica.
good to see you guys again. We took a little bit of a break from our last podcast. We missed about 2 days, but we were all kind of reeling back from the election results, weren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm still reeling back a little bit from it. We had a little bit of an uncensored podcast last time. We kind of went off. We didn't, hold anything back. We just talked about our first impressions of the elections, and now we're kind of back with a more sober take.
Yeah.
We both kind of got some time to reflect, got some time to relax. I took a week off of all politics just to kind of get my mind away from that thing because I know we're gonna have to worry about that for the next 4 years, knowing how um how prone to like controversy Donald Trump is. He's going to be in the spotlight for the next 4, maybe even 6 years, going off of his presidential campaign.
Yes.
But before we get started, I do want to do some calls to actions because I do them usually at the end, but I think it's important to do them a little earlier so people know what's going on. So as you already know, we are a podcast that tries to upload every Sunday and Thursday, usually having mini podcasts on Thursday, having our long form podcast on Sundays. I'm thinking one thing I want to let you guys know is that we are going to also be uploading these podcasts not only on YouTube but on Spotify and on any other platform that allows for podcasting. So if you guys are prone to podcasts and other streaming platforms, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify. If you see our names there, we are the He Said, She Said, They Said podcast on all those platforms. Feel free to give us a thumbs up or a 5 star or comment and let us know what you think. We want to eventually have a question and answer segment of this podcast where we answer some of your questions people may have, just so we can kind of stay engaged with the community. So don't feel like you aren't allowed to ask questions. You definitely are. And I want to let you know we are in all those places. If you are watching YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe and comment as well there.
Yes, and make sure you let your friends know about this and share the word.
Yeah, that's another good point. Yeah,
Hmm.
if you are watching this anywhere, there is a share button. You can always share it with your like your personal Discord or your Twitter account, or I heard now they're using another one called Blue Sky, which is like a new like alternative
Hmm.
like Democratic kind of Twitter. If you guys are on Blue Sky, we are gonna make a Blue Sky account eventually and kind of have our posts be there as well. If you're anywhere, feel free to like just share the word. We're trying to uplift this darker time. Give people hope when there is really a lot of negativity happening right now in America.
Of course, of course.
And with that, let's get to the first talking point. So this is going to be primarily us talking about the days after the electional countdown. Right now, it is November 14th, 2024. It is a Thursday.
Hmm.
This is a week and 2 days after the elections have occurred. So
Hmm.
we've had a lot of time, 9 days, to really sober up and figure out what we're going to be doing. During this time, Trump has had his victory speech. Kamala Harris has had her conceding speech, and
Which I might add, she was so uplifting.
yeah, she
Hmm.
did her thing. She really showed America that,
Hmm.
even though we had a step back, and people say we had 20 steps back,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean we can't move forward again, right? There's still opportunity for us to move forward, and
The fight is not over.
the fight is not over. And we're going to talk about that in more detail,
Hmm.
but just kind of summarize what happened. Also, Joe Biden gave his speech talking about commenting on the electoral race,
Hmm.
and we had pretty much a majority of the election results figured out. We have all of the Senate races completed. We have a majority of the House of Representatives completed. We know that now Republicans have control of the entirety of Congress, and we're just waiting on the remaining. I guess right now we're just waiting for the remaining 11 to be
Hmm.
counted, so we can
Hmm.
see how it all wraps up. So we're waiting on that. A lot of California hasn't been counted yet. I know a lot hasn't been counted yet. Nevada hasn't been counted fully yet, and some parts of Colorado as well. So we'll wait on that. Hopefully, we'll get it by next podcast.
Yeah. Also, Donald Trump did visit the White House. He's accepted the invitation that President Biden made.
Mhm.
So he did visit the White House yesterday.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his wife Melania Trump did not accept the invitation of Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady.
Hmm.
She says she has other things to do. So,
Yeah, very busy
but
schedule.
but the president elect did accept the invitation. He did meet with President Joe Biden. So that's nice.
Do you know when they met?
They met yesterday in the
Yesterday.
morning.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they met on Wednesday.
yeah.
Okay.
They met Wednesday.
Okay. 'Cause I didn't hear about that till now.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know he accepted it. Okay, so I guess that's good that there's some. I guess both sides and going on where they're both kind of I don't know what's going on with Melania. I don't think she's the busy she's saying she is.
Hmm.
But if you heard Trump's victory speech, he was saying that his wife is a very busy woman, that she works very hard. So I guess we had to accept those things he's giving us about his wife. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So and also she has a college student. kid.
Oh, that's true.
Pretty sure she has,
Well,
she
isn't
gets
Barry like in high school?
no, Baron is a NYU.
Oh,
So yeah, so we just want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I'm happy that we are seeing transfers of power being done in a very mature and unviolent way.
yeah. I didn't get to watch too much of Trump's victory speech, but did you get to watch a little bit, Jessica?
I did get to watch a little bit of his
Yeah,
speech.
tell us a
I
little
watched, I think, the whole thing.
bit. Hmm.
He seemed, you know, he was just very thankful. He kept mentioning like they had to call in, like saying, although they did we did win and they did say we won, they had to do it because it was overwhelming. So he was still putting that in there, like, um the election still, could be rigged, although they won.
So you
They
think
just
he
said,
won by? He's trying to say he won by better margins.
yeah, like he won by too many margins, so they had to accept it, the election results. So meaning, like, putting something in there. But his speech, I'm really proud of him. It wasn't like a hateful speech. It wasn't like I'm just gonna go do this, I'm gonna go do that. Like he was very,
Mm.
he seemed very surprised too that he won, genuinely happy about the situation. He was sharing the mic, which was really rare for him, like letting people that work in his campaign talk,
Mm.
people giving people credit for the campaign. Um, yeah, he seemed like it seems a little bit different than all the hate stuff that he says at his rally. Like he seemed more like maybe because he was also like in shock a little bit because I don't
Yeah.
think he was ready to come out and be like so like, oh yes, we won and definitely like
Yeah.
things like that.
Think of it like this, Jessica, because I think that's an insightful way of looking at it. Like this guy, the whole entire year was paranoid about going to jail, or even like being the first president to be civilly liable, first president to be like federally liable for
Hmm.
for a crime he committed and might have to do with
Hmm.
some house arrest or whatever. This guy goes through this whole entire thing. You have Jack Smith coming with a new indictment, a
Hmm.
new proceeding. Trying to get rid of the old judge he had in Florida,
Hmm.
and he just wins. Like no fighting back,
Hmm.
no no popular vote being like like this is the only time where I could say there really is no reason to recount because of how much Trump has won by, right?
Yeah.
He got all seven swing states. He got the popular vote by 2%. Like those things are important to understand, and that's why, like when Hillary Clinton asked for a recount, even though she won all seven swing states as well, she said she wants to recount because she still won popular vote by 4%. Sorry, by 2% in
Hmm.
her end.
Hmm.
I think it was 4 or 2%. One of those two. She won the popular vote.
Hmm.
Needless to say. So she was like, if I won public vote, I want to make sure that there is no malpractice going on with the counting,
Hmm.
right? And she can see the next day. So I think you're right. Trump. One of the reasons why Trump came so jovial because I think that was his raw emotions.
Hmm.
Like he
Nah,
won.
he was genuinely like surprised and seemed very
Yeah,
happy. Like he wasn't and like I want him to be like that when he making a decision about this country.
yeah. Think about
Like
those
in that
people.
stage, in that not that angry because he was so angry before. Like he seemed genuinely happy and satisfied with the result.
Going off of a man who chooses aid on people who voted for him. I'm glad that New York was as red as it was this year, even though we are still blue. We want a lot to be flipped to redistricts from red to blue. I'm happy we were red enough to vote in Donald Trump's favor. Now that we know he's gonna become president, maybe when hopefully nothing happens in New York during no natural disasters happen in New York, but we have been prone to hurricanes in the past and earthquakes. That Donald Trump will be able to assist us during those times. He'll know about that Madison Square Garden rally he had where a lot of people show up for that. He'll know about how we only won by 11-point margin, which is pretty low for New York, all things considered. So I want to just say from that point is that like I going off of this petty tyrant, the person who cares about numbers so much. I think that might be his way of kind of showing mercy to those people. Be like, oh, even though them is a
Maybe
Democrat.
he's gonna be not that upset with New York. I get what you're saying,
Yeah, yeah, because
which is a
that's
good
why he didn't
thing.
want to give aid to like some blue states who got hit by the hurricane. He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't vote for me.
yeah,
But I think
yeah.
that might be a beckoning call. Like
No
something like good and a bad.
retaliation towards New York. Yeah,
Yeah.
as we, this is how we have to talk now, right? Because this is the person we're dealing with.
Hmm.
And we are gonna have to cover him, obviously. So yeah, we're happy that New York went a little red, so we can, obviously we can get federal aid as much as he can give us when we need it. But
Yeah.
let's just hope for the best.
I guess there's also another thing to say is that New York is his home state, so
Yeah.
I think he would never want to abandon New York and have New York get destroyed. He might corrupt New York in the sense of
Mhm.
making it better for him, but I don't think he ever wanted to abandon New York
No,
in
no,
that
no, no.
regard.
Like, and he was happy. He was like, when he was doing the whole mindset for around, and he was like, I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Trump's dream was to flip New York red because
Yeah.
he wants to be accepted by New Yorkers, which I
Yeah.
think the fact that he got 11% kind of
Yeah.
upholded his
Yeah.
ideology.
And he
Like,
should be proud. Queen mostly voted for him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he campaigned in Brooklyn when he
Yeah.
was here for the
Yeah.
election
Yeah.
when he was here for his his uh his cases. He came. I think he came multiple times.
Yeah.
I know because he interrupted my commute to work a lot of times when he showed up. But in general, that was the first part. We talked about Trump's victory
Yeah.
speech. Anything else you want to comment about that victory speech?
No, he would just know his family seemed very genuine, very happy.
Hmm.
I did not see Ivanka Trump, which I was a little bit
Yeah.
surprised about that.
Hmm.
Obviously his sons was there. The first lady was there. She seemed very happy about it. He was kept saying about her book, how she has a bestseller. She was really happy. She's a very busy woman. So I don't know. He was hinting that she's not going to the White House. She's not gonna be, she's gonna stay in New York because, like I said, Marion is in New York City, is going to school. So I don't know. He was hinting on that, like she's not going. But they all seem very happy. Everybody seemed very, I'm just very, very, proud of him for not making it into like a hate speech. He didn't say nothing bad about Kamala. Like, he he really was didn't even. I don't think he even mentioned her name. I
Hmm.
might be confused, but because it was like a 35-minute speech, it was not even that long
He
or
didn't.
something.
He didn't mention migration at all.
No, he said he's gonna fix the country. He said but he was in like before, like all his value. I couldn't really listen to too much because I felt the hate, like I felt the anger in him.
Like it was building.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but right now he was like, he obviously said he's gonna make America great. He's gonna make this the best country. Um, you know, he's so happy for America. What's coming for America? He's gonna have the best people to do the best job. Like,
Yeah.
he was so grateful for the opportunity again. And but he didn't go like too much in depth.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna go house to house, knock on doors, and get immigrants and separate from their family. He didn't
Mhm.
say all of that. He
Yeah.
just said that he was gonna make this country better, and the country did um, a good decision. I'm picking him.
Yeah. I don't know. Before I listened to much of it,
Hmm.
I listened to like the first half of it. I think I tuned out of it once he started lying about Senate seats. Because he talked about how like some of the blue senates were like red senates. He talked about like, we won Michigan, we won Wisconsin and the Senate seat. I'm like, you didn't win those states. So when I saw him blatantly lying
Oh
about
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah,
things,
yeah. He was
mhm,
going over that,
mhm,
but I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, but because they did win the Senate, right? They're 53 right now.
yeah, I think they
So
were
they did,
49 at the time of him talking.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they did win the Senate and the House. So basically, information too. Like, he just gets some information. And Donald Trump is a person that he likes to, like a stand-up comedy. He likes to, like, you know say whatever comes to his mind. Like, it doesn't mean that it has to be true or it doesn't be true. They tell him like, oh, the Senate's really close in Michigan. He's gonna like, oh yeah, we won.
Okay.
So he's not like gonna wait for facts. He
Hmm.
just, he was in a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair. Like maybe
Yeah.
he is an older man. Like
Hmm.
he's gonna be in his 80s in 2 years.
Hmm.
I guess maybe he just confused presidential election with the Senate seat. Maybe that's a possibility.
Or maybe they just gave him like a set information, like real quick, like, oh, we winning here, we winning
I
up there,
see.
and he just came out like saying that we won, although they was a little higher on points, not knowing that there's still votes need to be counted.
Okay.
So I think he was just an excitement of the moon because he's generally seemed happy. I haven't seen him this happy in a long time,
Yeah.
which I'm hoping that's good for his health.
Yeah. Hopefully he has mercy on the people who also worry
Exactly.
about, going to jail and have these persecutions. Because we're not going to try to play light with Donald Trump's persecution. Like, even though we all believe this came to him, like what happened to him with the fraud case in New York, what happened to him with the sexual assault case in all the different states and the electoral fraud cases, these are not things that just came out of nowhere. He did actions that had consequences, and that's how we should run America. No one
Hmm.
should be above the law, not even President of the United States. Now, unfortunately, it may seem like it's not going to work like that because
Yeah.
some of these people have backed off already. We have to wait till November 25th to see if the judge presiding over the New York fraud case is going to give his verdict, Well, he gets work rate, but is he going to impose any penalties? Obviously,
I think he postponed it.
he
That
postponed it.
yeah, that has been postponed.
Okay, I haven't heard about that yet. But if it's
Yeah.
been postponed, we'll update it next time if we hear more
Hmm.
about it. But because they already got delays, I mean, like it was supposed to be announced on August,
Hmm.
they didn't push to September, they didn't push all the way to November. So at this point, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
The guy got what he wanted.
From the last one I heard, he was it was postponed.
Mhm.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's like I know there's like a conflict of like parents type of thing. Like I get it. It's gonna be inconvenient because if he's president 4 years, he came president in a jail cell. He came president for house
Hmm.
arrest, and
He
these
cannot stay. But even when people have house arrest, they're able to do work, like do things from like
well
from.
he'll be arrested in the White House.
No, he will be arrested. Like he would not be. He will be able to do his duty. Like if he has to go abroad, if he has to go do this,
Yeah,
yeah, he will still be
I
able to.
see. Those will be like
Yeah,
justifications for
yeah,
leaving.
yeah. That would be his justification for working. Like he
Yeah,
would just have. Obviously, he's already has Secret Service, so they would like
right.
get half his every move. It's not like he can escape.
Yeah,
But that's like beyond.
yeah. We're
Like
not.
I'm not even worried about his cases. Like I'm pretty sure they're all gonna get pushed back.
Mhm.
I'm worried about the things he's gonna do.
Right. And just to kind of go with the flow thing, we also heard about Kamala Harris' speech that I mentioned a bit earlier.
Oh my God, she was so grateful, so gracious, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody took like I'm so happy nobody took her
Mm-hmm.
like she was just she showed up. Obviously, she was a little emotional, right? Like these people, like she worked very hard for 100 days. Like I said, it's not her campaign. This is writing campaign. She worked hard for writing campaign for 100 days, and she gave her all. But I feel like she wasn't like too surprised. Like I feel like she knew what was the outcome gonna be because she was so joyful, like her beautiful smile, like so grateful for the people that work hard in her campaign. Like she kept saying, "This is not the end for us. This is not the end." And just trying to give people a little bit of a positive, like
Yeah.
she's like, at least we got here. Like let's just think about all the things we have done. Right? She's not a woman that I know is gonna destroy her. Like she's has been the first in so many ways for so many things in her personal life and her professional life. So I'm sure this don't feel like any other no. It just it hurts a little bit for her, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna keep on moving like she always have. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's a minority. She's a black woman. She got this.
And you did a lot already with those two, experiences
Exactly,
there, capture it.
exactly. And she's so grateful she has the opportunity, right? To to
Yeah.
to run for Biden.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
had the first, actual, electee who was allowed to run in the primary
Yeah, yeah,
races.
yeah.
So post primary races
For
even,
100 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So she's like, if we're gonna only get 100 days, I'm so glad we got it.
Yeah,
And I'm so happy with her
she
that God
showed
that
up.
was she showed up and she did a really big move. And we found out that a lot of Democrats stayed home and didn't vote,
Yeah.
which means they gave a vote to Donald Trump, right? Like let's not say, oh, it was a Democrat, but I didn't vote. You voted for Donald Trump.
Right, right.
So let's just put that out there. You gave him the vote,
Yeah.
whether you want it or not. And right, if you didn't vote it, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear no complaints. I don't
Hmm.
want to hear nothing.
Hmm.
Everybody that voted, this is your time to shine. Whatever happens, you deserve this, right?
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure if he runs again, if we change anything in Constitution and he runs again, I'm pretty sure you guys will do the same thing again. Yeah, so Kamala Harris, so proud of her. She did an amazing job, and I'm so happy she got to do what she got to do.
Hmm. One thing I wanted to comment on because we watched it together, the conceding speech she gave.
Hmm.
Like I said before, she came out really jovial, very, very, very energetic, right? A lot. I haven't really watched a lot of conceding speeches. I'm not gonna, lie to you guys. It's the first one I watched in my tenure as watching political content. Um, but I feel like hers is really good. I feel like she kept that same energy, kept that same energy, kept in the rallies. Other people there were still in love with her. I just got mentioned before, there was a bit of a decline when it came to voter turnout, and I think that people who didn't vote deserve to feel a bit, sorryful for not going out there and doing their part as American
Hmm.
people, as the American, with your power to vote. Um, I want to bring up the part where, like, there was a low turnout this time around, and I think, like, if we had a higher voting count, maybe we could have won those. Maybe the it could have given her the edge because we saw that even though Trump won all 7 battleground states, he didn't really win. Like the voting turnout was not as high as we thought it was. Like when Joe Biden went against Donald Trump 2020,
Mhm.
it was Joe Biden winning by 52, and then Trump sorry 51, and Trump lost by like 47% when it came to popular vote, when it came to
Mhm.
the tally up numbers. So Biden won by a 4% lead, and this one Trump won by a 2% lead. So it kind of showed that, like, people who could have voted this year chose not to vote. Maybe some of them may have unfortunately died during the COVID because I know we had more mortality that happened when Biden came into office. They still have to contend with a lot of things that happened during
Mhm.
the Trump administration. Some of them may have died, unfortunately. But we're just going to kind of comment on. I think that the positive of this election is that Trump won by a margin lower than even his 2016 run. So it shows you that there are things to gain from this. It shows there is
Mhm.
a cap when it comes to Trump drumming up support with his Republican base.
Mhm.
There's some people who just won't vote for him, um, even when they don't like even when they don't vote for Democrats. So if we
Mhm.
can get back those Democratic voters who sat down this time, the Latino voters
Mhm.
who chose not to come out, because now we know with these numbers that the Latinos who were almost supporting Donald Trump wasn't because they were
Mhm.
Democrats flipping Republican, because they were already Republican Latinos who just came out and
Mhm.
voted. Well,
Mhm.
Democratic Latinos just stayed home that day.
Mhm.
So now we know that those Democratic Latinos are still out there. We can try to campaign more towards them. Because to be honest, even though Kamala Harris did campaign towards Puerto Ricans when he made that Puerto Rican comment, it was like a little bit. It was during the last 18 days. Yeah,
Mhm.
Alex, she only had 100 days, so she really couldn't do as much as she probably wanted to
Mhm.
do in a full run 1 or 2 year long campaign.
Mhm.
But I'm glad what she could have done, and I think a lot of people are supporting that. I'm glad that like media outside of like Republican media is really talking about how Joe Biden's, the one who has to bear this cross. Like Jessica said before, it was not.
I'm so happy they coming out and saying that.
Mhm.
I feel like they should be more forceful about that. How would they express that? Like I was, but I understand. But I'm so happy that's one of their theory of what happened.
Yeah.
That is, this is not on her. This is definitely on Joe Biden.
Yeah, definitely an anecdote that we all agree with. We all agree with the fact that Joe Biden was, the noose that was hanging around Kamala Harris's neck the entire time. He was that weight that didn't really go off of her. We can criticize Kamala Harris's response on the View about saying she wouldn't change anything about Joe Biden's policy. That may have been how unfortunately one of her only blunders she made during the campaign, which sucks for it being 100 days and only making one blunder. But it just goes to show that once she gets that off her back completely and able to, because like we have to remember this. When the primaries happened, Joe Biden in 2020, Joe Biden was the one to favor. Everyone thought Joe Biden would win that day, even though Bernie Sanders was part of the primaries. Everyone was gunning for Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders, a lot of the other Democrats in that circle who were around the primaries,
Hmm.
they were all still being nice to him because they knew that they needed that Joe Biden voter base.
Hmm.
Kamala Harris was the only one who was actively voicing her disdain and her opposition to Joe Biden. She
Hmm.
was the one who was the most vocal about it during her 2020 primary elections.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, she was the first one to opt out of it, and maybe because of her being so vocal against Joe Biden. I think that shows that when she comes back, she may not be as nice the next time around when it comes to the next primaries, which I think is important.
And we also have to remember she is the vice president.
Hmm.
She was still working on the person.
Hmm.
Right, we also show how gracious Joe Biden is. I picked her to be his vice president, although she was critical of him. But that was still her job. She still had to, she's part of the government, right? She under the president.
Joe Biden's still her boss.
It's still her boss. So more that you can say, oh, you can do this. She was campaigning to do another job, but she had a job already
Hmm.
still has, about 80 days to go, 60 days to go. So she still needs to do her job. She cannot come on here and say all the things she thought about Joe Biden, plus all her speeches and all her things have to be accepted
Yeah, vetted.
and vetted and reviewed by President Biden office and chief of staff. So we understand that. Like we're not gonna be here thinking that she has free fall to talk just like Donald Trump was able to talk. No, she was
Yeah.
a vice president of the United States.
Yeah, he also wasn't able to blatantly lie the same way Donald Trump was. Had the media put people under the rug. because one of the reasons why Trump was so effective because he could say whatever you want and the media would just accept it, right? If
Right.
Kamala Harris lied about something, she'd either get pinged for it and be like, "Hey, you said 7 years ago you were pro health insurance. Now you're not pro. Sorry, you're pro universal health care. Now you're not pro that anymore. What's going on? Like
Yeah.
all those comments she made in the past weighed on her as well. When Donald Trump talked about starting wars in Mexico, talked about but now he's the peaceful president, right? They should have
Mhm.
brought it up like, hey, you said you want to start war in Mexico. Now you're the peace president. What's going on there?
But I don't think she was gonna do that because she understands that people need to grow.
Well, I'm saying the media should.
Oh,
I'm saying,
yeah, but the media, the media,
yeah, but it's important to voice these things.
yeah, the media,
Yeah.
but the media didn't get it right in 2006, 2016, 2020, and now 2024. The media is never gonna get it right. The
Mhm.
media is controlled by the same people,
Yeah.
right? Um, let's see now how they're gonna, effectively how they're gonna follow Trump presidency. I want to know how they're gonna follow Donald Trump presidency, and how would they be critical of him. Like those are the same people that when they saw kids getting separated from their moms and dad, they kept okay, it's bad, but they didn't. Let's move on to the next topic. Like that was nothing. Like we wasn't dealing with that in this
My,
country.
my whole thing, I think the media is happy about this. I think the media is happy because now they
They're gonna
know
make more money.
they're gonna make more money because hate sells more than love. That's just
Hmm.
how it is. People are gonna be
Hmm.
like, hey, I have to watch every single day. I got to find out what else Trump did to someone who could affect me personally. We
Hmm.
have family members who were deported because of Trump's laws that he placed during the 2016 campaign. Um, so we know how that feels personally to lose family members because of those actions he made and the restrictions he put on people who came here illegally. Um, with that being said, though, I do want to talk about the final part, which kind of like links up the Joe Biden speech. He kind of says a lot of similar things
Hmm.
that Kamala Harris said. He reiterated the fact that they both invited Trump to the White House. Now we know that he accepted. He came yesterday on Wednesday
Hmm.
on the 13th of November. Um, I, I feel like Joe Biden speech was a nothing burger. Like there was nothing you really could extrapolate from that. He didn't really bring up what his final 70-40 were going to
He
be
did
as
not bring
president.
that out. He did not bring out how many executive order he's going to be signing. He had even signed one since. If I'm wrong, please let me know how many he signed.
Yeah.
But it says now it's been 9 days since the election, and he is not using the pen, which I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about it before. Where he should be signing a lot more than he actually, that we know of. We should really be hearing a lot of things he has in mind. I know he had a Supreme Court plan that he had in July about increasing the Supreme Court to 12 people, or doing something to restrict them. We haven't really heard anything else about that once he dropped out. So now that he had more free time outside of his campaign, I feel like he should have done more about that. Like, why bring it up and not even do anything about that? Maybe he did it so he could save his campaign in some way. I don't know. Maybe with the last difference already had for it. But it really showed that, like, now it's time for actions, not just words. Giving the guy a tour of the White House is cool and all, but he's already been there, right? We need to start looking at the future. What can we do?
But I think this is important for him to like show that that's just like the right thing to do. Like
I know it's courteous. It's courteous.
every president does it, so he don't want to lose because he knows that this might be the last time that this is going to be standing over. We don't know when Donald Trump has to invite somebody to the White House that they win next year if it's not a Republican. I mean,
Yeah.
next 4 years, whether he's going to invite them to the White House. So
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to keep like, you know, the tradition going and do it in a way that might be the last time we will see that. So I'm very grateful that he did that, and I'm happy he did it.
Yeah. Okay. I understand what you mean. And I'm not trying to like hamper too much on that.
No, I'm with you. I want him to start signing, and he's
Yeah.
not doing nothing. He's not doing nothing. They're not talking. All those people that scare the heck out of us are like right now they're in depression mode,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not really talking. But now it's the time we got to do things because we still got about 50 days to do what we got to do
Mm-hmm.
before this person, Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump, come back in the White House.
Right. So one thing I also wanted to bring up is a little bit of the news coming up with President Trump's, well, I guess elect President Trump's, he came up with the new cabinet members. We had a Fox host who was put as the Secretary of Defense.
Hmm.
We had Matt Gaetz placed as Attorney General. Um,
Which is like an amazing for him because we remember Mike Gates when they was doing to try to pick the majority leader of the House, how Mike Gates was like holding on. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So we understand how he's gonna be right now. Try to get.
Yeah.
whoever it got gets in Donald Trump ways, he's gonna get them. So he is gonna be Donald Trump, um, attorney general. What he wanted. Yeah, they almost got into altercation. He got into altercation with another guy. I was like, what you doing? Like,
Mhm.
you know. So
Yeah.
he finally picked, um, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna bring up the fact that, like, I'm a little bit skewed on it about picking Matt Gaetz because I feel like Matt Gaetz is probably one of the most combative Republicans we've had, given the fact that he isn't afraid to like throw someone else under the bus in order to get his own way. We saw it with Kevin McCarthy during the beginning of this year where he was ousted as
Mhm.
as speaker, majority speaker of the Republican Party,
Mhm.
and then we got Mike Johnson afterwards. Um, so it's a little weird because we haven't heard anything about Marjorie Taylor Greene being a part
I'm
of
pretty
the
sure she's gonna get something.
something.
Yeah, if my gay got it,
Yeah.
they just wanted to see what they're gonna give her. Also given that my gay they was gonna have a report, an investigation that the House did on him. It was gonna come out on Friday, and then he resigned yesterday afternoon from his position as a House representative.
Hmm.
So that there goes that case, or
Yeah.
that person that the evidence. I'm sure that we're not going to see a light of that.
Yeah.
You know,
But I'm sure the majority of Americans already know that he obviously the son with that child that we.
yeah, but there was an investigation. Like it took years, it took time
Yeah.
for it to right. So we wanted to see how it extended, right, for his case with trafficking and like underage girls.
And allegedly he engaged in underage prostitution as well
Yeah.
because he
So
Venmoed a 17-year-old to have sex allegedly.
allegedly. So we would have seen all those evidence. Unfortunately, it's not coming out, and he is going to be attorney general. So guess what's going to happen to that?
Hmm.
He's going to get burned out.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
You're like, oh wait, the file? We don't have that anymore. I'm
We
sorry.
don't have it.
No. By the way, we're gonna change. I would be surprised if they want to change like age of consent in Florida or whatever, so it could be fine or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
But that's us over talking.
surprised.
We hope he doesn't go against, a prosecutor in New York, prosecutor in Georgia,
Hmm.
who's trying to prosecute Donald Trump. I hope people are safe. I hope he don't go against, Kamala Harris, find something,
Yeah,
for Michelle Obama, or I don't,
yeah,
because I'm just a little fearful of the people that's, you know, we're there to criticize Donald Trump and all of this, and having he don't Donald Trump don't have to tell him not what to do. He knows what he has to do. Because they are kind of on the same page if you think about it.
yeah. And one thing about that, talking about attorney generals, thankfully, Fulton County's Fonnie Willis was reelected as well. So she,
Exactly, but I'm a little bit afraid about her too.
mhm,
What kind of investigation he can bring out for her. Um, and Letitia Jones too.
mhm,
She did come out with Kathy, and explain that New York, that their office was ready for Donald Trump becoming president, and
yeah,
she's gonna do everything in her power to make sure that when it comes to the thing of like coming and try to deport people and things like that, and use you know Yale jails or federal buildings as detention centers. She said she's gonna look into the law and whatever in her power, she's gonna try to stop that. So let's just
yeah.
hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best. You can't really stop federal laws, as far as I understand. I know you can.
Mhm.
You can instate state laws to kind
Yeah, but
of
she said
balance
she
that.
she's gonna go over the law to make sure that they don't that every law is being followed. That they're just not gonna open the doors for them to come and do that in this state.
I see. Okay, okay. So they're gonna go
Because
over
they cannot stop federal agents from going into the state,
the. Mhm.
but they can stop probably from using facility for to retain people.
I see.
Yeah, because they're gonna need a lot of facility. Because where are they gonna put all these people?
Yeah, they're gonna have to do like that's one thing. Like Donald Trump, I remember during Victor's speech, he wanted to remove international trade and have more importing and
Hmm.
have
Oh yeah, yeah, he did talk about
talk
more
about that as well.
importing,
And, and
less exporting.
and then that to me is like maybe long term it's good to have like more importing, more things we build here, but short term is going to be catastrophic because we don't have all those factories to be competing with China and
Mhm.
manufacturing our own goods. So if we try to remove our influence and our reliance on China right away, 100% full stop, which he kind of suggested during his victory speech, we would lose out on so many
I think that's impossible for it to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The guy, when he made his Trump Bibles, where'd he go? He went to China.
Yeah, no, he understand that, and I'm pretty sure he's just gonna try to do both at the same. Right, you can
Right.
chew gum and walk at the same time. Maybe try to build the infrastructure for it to happen, but at the same time, he cannot stop the, imp, you know,
Yeah, I don't think he can stop it completely, but if he does like try to like put a federal law in there saying capping the amount we can use China with, I'm not saying that's bad long term, but short term is going to really hurt
well, he said he's gonna put like a tax,
tariffs.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
which is gonna affect us, not them, because if it costs 100, if it costs them more money to bring some stuff for us, it's the price that's gonna go up.
right, right. But they may also de-incentivize wanting to work with America as well.
Yeah.
Especially if China has so many clients already, they may be like, "Why are we going to pay this much? We can just
Mhm.
work with Britain or work with
Mhm.
Russia or whatever." So I'm not saying they are going to do that. They're still going to want to work with the highest economy in this country. We have the highest currency amount in the whole entire nation. Sorry, whole entire world. But it just to me like if we lose communication with there's some article going on they want to help we want to like start working with India. I would like them to work with Brazil because Brazil's a really good manufacturing company we never work with because Brazil's like really local. It'd be less cost when it comes to transporting goods. I think it'd be a good investment to go to Brazil, but I haven't heard a lot of things about South America
Yeah.
being an option. But
Mhm.
India's already it's a pretty cool option as well.
Well, we do import a lot of stuff from India.
Yeah, India and Pakistan and
Yeah,
Venezuela
yeah, yeah.
Vietnam. Yeah, those are our
Mhm.
biggest
Mhm.
importers or exporters. But so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I
Well,
don't.
exporter is when we export it out,
Yeah, import.
so it will
Yeah,
be importer. Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, import. My bad. But we already know that Trump's already pretty bad when it comes to federal. We know he's pretty bad when it comes to business stuff. Like the guy notoriously like bankrupted almost every company he's owned that wasn't already made by his father and the predecessors.
But we have to give him, right. He put the Trump name out there, so we have to also give him, credit for that.
Well, yeah, he put it out there for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. He sell himself really good. Like he will call the fort, and make himself, his
Mhm.
company worth more than that. So even in he did a lot of things.
Yeah.
So we cannot say he's a failure.
Well,
He doesn't do
I'm
the
saying
right
it from
way.
the standpoint of how do you run business economically, he's not well inclined there. You can talk about his marketing ability to be really great, and I won't argue that because he is a marketing.
Genius,
He's
yeah, if you think about
yeah
it.
he has marketing accolades for sure.
Hmm.
I'm going to say that when it comes to economics, which we're talking about right now with foreign
Hmm.
economics, he doesn't seem to know how to really do economics that well because the fact that he lost so many businesses because he couldn't properly allocate resources that well.
Hmm.
And he seems like with America, he's not learning from those previous
Well,
mistakes.
he did that so he don't have to pay, right? So he
What?
wanted, like, he bankrupt his company, so he didn't have to be
Well, I know that. I'm saying,
liable on paying certain things. So he was just like, oh, I'm
yeah,
gonna
but
close it
no.
down.
Sorry, go ahead.
Not like he was just like, I'm gonna close it down, make a new one, and I don't have to pay.
No, I know how that works. I'm just saying, like, for a company to get bankrupt, you have to purposely bring it, like, it has to be a sinking ship.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has to have something wrong that made it lose that money. No one makes a company just have it fail,
Hmm.
right? He did it so he can make money, and in those times he failed at making money, but he didn't lose anything from it because he bankrupted early.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's we talked about a little bit of his cabinet seat. That's what was going on with Donald Trump right now. He's filling out his cabinet seat. Where we have about like maybe 60 days until he comes off. I think he comes off at like January
Hmm.
20th, so January 25th, something like that. So we have to wait a little bit longer for him to become in office. Kamala Harris officially went to the White House this weekend, so she's going
Yes,
there.
and she has such a nice welcoming. I'm so happy they did that for her.
Mhm.
Um, so that's really nice that they show her love. Like
Yeah.
there was all the staff from the White House was out there and cheering her on.
Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up as well is that like now we finally have more numbers in the election. We can kind of like talk about. So though we did lose the Senate by 3 points, it shows that like right now. Honestly, it's not really. They're saying Democrats have 47, but it's really 45 because there's
Hmm.
two independents that are counting with Democrats.
Hmm.
So it's really 45 Democrats, two independents, and 53
Hmm.
Republicans. Um, I do want to say that when it came to the swing
Hmm.
states, we I think we won every swing state.
Hmm.
That was up for like re-elections, which was
Hmm.
pretty good. I think that showed that even though there was a low turnout when it comes to swing states for Kamala Harris,
Hmm.
they overperformed Democrats anyway when it came to other seats like
Hmm.
Senate seats. So the fact that we hold the Senate in some of these battlegrounds, like, it may be good for us
Hmm.
going into the 2028 elections. as well as 2026 elections as well. When it comes to re-electing members of Senate and Republicans, we may have a stronger
Hmm.
hold on the swing parties, and also showed like the Trump effect really only works on Trump. It doesn't really work on other Republicans. Not a lot of Republicans are really that favored when it comes to like them using the same rhetoric Trump uses. It seems to
Hmm.
only really work when he's talking. So we'll see how it goes. I know Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy also got positions as well in his cabinet. They got positions for like this new department called Department of Governmental Efficiency, DOGE. Um, we'll see what happens with that. People are saying it's kind of like one of those like whatever departments that like they're just going to be there to kind of do
Hmm.
whatever they want to do. Apparently, the idea would be that they would observe how the government's running businesses, and they would write up portfolios for Trump to read over and suggestions on what to do when it comes to like maintaining those
Hmm.
businesses. Uh, I, and I guess it all depends on Trump's tolerance for them and
Hmm.
how much he weighs in their opinion. Given how Trump is very narcissistic himself, he may not weigh in on
Hmm.
that much. We know Elon Musk has gone to Trump's house like almost every single day past the election, so he's kind of and Trump's already kind of like getting sour on him from what we saw in the
Well,
reports.
I think what's getting Trump a little bit upset
What's
that
up?
why he gave Elon Musk a job that he gave with somebody else,
Yeah,
which is like they're talking about is not even a position,
yeah.
is because people were saying who's going to be president? Is it going to be Elon Musk or
Oh,
Donald Trump?
mm,
Right? So they messed it up for Elon Musk because Donald Trump don't like that.
yeah,
One thing about Donald Trump, he's going to listen to the news. He's not only going to be watching Fox, he's going to be watching all the news.
yeah,
He's going to want to hear what people have to say.
mm,
So if there was comparing saying all of that, like, oh, who's going to be the president? Like, oh, Elon Musk is going to control President Trump like a puppet.
yeah,
He's like showing them, like, no, he's not, because he's still narcissist, right? He wants to be the center of attention. So we were
yeah,
putting too much attention on Elon Musk and too much power, like, oh, he won because Elon Musk also helped and put all those millions in his campaign.
yeah.
So he's now like, taking a little bit on Elon Musk.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that whole notion. I'm more wondering, like, I guess because he's not like a part of the official like
Hmm.
department, he won't have to worry about like foreclosing his business to
Hmm.
other people.
Hmm.
Because I know like when you join the government, you can't have your own business, right?
No, that's for president. You're
For
supposed to,
president.
but you're supposed to, put a lien on that and have somebody else, right? Because then it's affecting your interest, right?
Yeah,
But
but
that Trump didn't completely do it, so it's fine.
yeah,
The amount's gonna be okay.
I just wonder because like if you're about to be the like part of the governmental effectiveness efficiency, and you're
Hmm.
supposed to be working on like business efficiency. You have your own business. I don't know. It feels a little bit skewed in that way,
Hmm.
but we'll see how it all goes. Hopefully,
Yeah, but he's not even the secretary of that. He's working in the department. Then he has to go to other people.
yeah, it's not going
Before,
to be like
yeah, he don't have direct contact to the president. It's not like he's gonna be, in the West Wing
I imagine Trump
office.
will let him like walk in
No,
sometime
he will definitely let him walk in.
because he's already talking to Trump about like filling up his cabinet. He already
No,
talked
no,
about
no. They can talk about things like that, but he's not gonna have his office is not gonna be in the West Wing.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah,
Although Trump might say just bring a desk and we put you right here
the corner of the
yeah,
office, the Oval Office.
the Oval Office.
Mm.
I don't pass that.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. But people talking about like President Elon Musk. Obviously, he can't be president. He wasn't born in this country,
Yeah.
so that's not going to happen. But we'll see how it goes. Apparently, um, I hadn't read a lot about this, but apparently, we have, Vice President-elect, I've already almost forgot his name, JD Vance.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about how he wants to, go against Europe for some reason. We'll see what, I'll read up more on that. We'll talk about it more during the next
Mm-hmm.
podcast. I do want to hear more about him because he's been kind of, now that they won, they pretty much threw away JD Vance. I haven't even seen a lot of him, honestly. Have you seen a
Hmm.
lot of JD Vance since like last time?
No, I don't haven't seen it. I think he just letting Donald Trump do his thing. I
Yeah,
think he's also very in shock that, right? Being so young and just so new into politics, right? Like
yeah.
he's gonna be the vice president of the United States, and he understands his power. He understands he ain't gonna be doing much. Like Mike Penn, he's gonna be, a lapdog that gonna do what he got to do.
I do feel bad for his wife because his wife is of Indian descent. She looks
Well,
very.
she said in this, and he said in the speech, she's very beautiful inside and out.
What do you mean by that?
Donald Trump said that about the
About Jenny
yeah,
Vance. Okay, that's good.
wife.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
she's beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, because when
Because he always have to mention the out part.
Oh, so you take it as like a racial remark?
No, I took it like, he always has to talk about how people's beauty. That's a woman.
By the woman, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't last time I mentioned Hillary Clinton during the debate. Like Hillary Clinton's a beautiful woman, but
Hmm.
whatever. So I hope everything goes well with Usha. I believe Usha is JD Vance's wife. That everything goes well with her. That she doesn't have to worry about feeling racially undermined. And nobody else. I know
Well, if she feels
Mashallah.
undermined, that's on her. She married this guy, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, like, mhm.
But no one wants. No, I don't want racism with nobody.
No, I don't want racism on nobody, but if she in the White House because her husband is the vice president, who we know who he is, we know what he was deputing, we know what he was
But we
saying.
also know that JD Vance is a fake ass person. Like he's just fake in general. It's the same guy who called Trump Hitler 4 years ago. The same
Like
guy
everybody.
the great same guy who was cross dressing in high school, in college.
Okay,
So this guy was clearly
yeah.
a different man when he married his wife.
Okay, so let me tell you something. We talking like this is a regular um administration, like this is a joke, but we have to do this. Let me tell you something. We know all of them are fakes.
Right, yeah. I imagine Usha Trump is also fake because Usha Trump talked about how she hated Trump and now she talked about she loves him.
Exactly.
They're all fake.
They're all fake. They're all with the same one that's the same.
Yeah.
The guy is unfit for the title of becoming president. And right now they're in his
They're
cabinet.
falling in line.
They falling in line like everybody falls in line and kiss the ring.
Yeah.
Like right?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
So let's just all that comes with that grain of salt, right? Like we understand this are fake people.
So, like, one of our final topics I wanted to talk about was, I know there's a bit of civil war going on with Democrats. There's overwhelming laws that happened in the presidential election. Her losing both the electoral vote and the popular vote really made Democrats wonder about their strategy.
The House, the Senate.
Well, House and Senate is a bit different because I used to for the margins were a little
Yeah.
smaller back then.
Yeah.
They still won the swing votes in the Senate.
Hmm.
So I think they're more looking at the presidential election because the only other Republican in modern history who won the popular vote was, George Bush, and that was during a war. That was during, the Afghanistan war.
Hmm.
So, oh, sorry, yeah, during that point in time. So, I think people are really looking at what they should do now.
Hmm.
People are criticizing Kamala Harris, saying that she was too left leaning.
Hmm.
People saying she was too right leaning. Some people saying she didn't have enough
Hmm.
policy to separate her from Joe Biden. So I want to hear your thoughts on that. Like, how do you feel about this like civil war that's kind of breaking out right now? Because it's been going on for about a week now.
Well, that's gonna be there has to be a lot of changes going on in the Democrat Party, right? There was a lot of failure. Like I don't just want to, blame President Biden, but it was his presidency, so
Hmm.
he's the main man. But there's a lot of things going on. Like I feel like houses has to like things have to be clean. Like people have to lose their job. People have to we have to pass the baton to like younger people, younger ideas. Obviously, we want to go so left because the more left we go, the more right they go, right? And this is America. This is the country of disagreement and things. So we want to kind of fall in the middle, right? As long as Black people got the right to be free, we shouldn't be like we understand we're gonna have disagreement and things, so we don't want to be do too much. We just want liberty and freedom for everybody. So I don't think, but I feel like they should be giving the baton to like younger people and people with
But I think
brighter
we
idea.
want that a little bit. We want them to go enough right. Because look at somebody like look at California, right? North Carolina, not California. Like that guy, Mark Robinson, right? He was gonna win his California Senate, I believe it
Hmm.
was Senate seat, and he lost it because the reports came out about him saying he's a black Nazi, him going on porn sites and writing these egregiously, very
No, it was
vulgar.
not California. It was Georgia.
North Carolina.
I mean, North Carolina.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I said North
yeah,
Carolina.
yeah.
So Mark Robinson lost that because he was too right leaning in
Hmm.
that sense. Like the most right you could be is a fascist autocrat, which were Nazis were. So
Yeah, but he lost. But then we got the president.
right, that's what I'm trying to say. Like I said before, multiple times in this podcast, I think Trump's an anomaly in that way. If you look at other people like Kerry, like look at other people like Mark Robinson, they are just as Trumpy as him, but they lose their Senate seats
Hmm.
when their true colors come out. I think if Trump's porn account came out, no one would care. It's like
No.
okay, whatever. But a regular Senate, someone who can be touched by media like Mark Robinson was, those guys are not untouchable, right?
Hmm.
So I want to say like personally, I think your both sides thing might work, but I think like people really were off putted by when Kamala Harris came out with Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney because people with Democratic do not approve of the Afghanistan war. They don't approve of those two because they see them as warmongers. They see them as people who just attack brown people, right? So I can understand why they felt more discouraged not to go out and vote because they see what she's doing with the other side.
So she feels like they feel like, oh, she's just gonna go more to the
She's
left.
pandering.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I mean, more
those
to
never
the left,
Trumpers
right?
did not come out and vote for Kamala Harris. They stayed home when they voted for Donald Trump. Those never Trumpers were fake. They said, "Oh, we'll vote for Kamala Harris. Oh, never vote for Donald Trump." We didn't see that same energy when it came to actually voting,
Do
right?
you think that a lot of those are probably Nikki Haley's voters too?
No Trump. I think they were because Nikki Haley got like what, like 20% of the primary vote when it came to Donald Trump. Like she got 20% of like the. I think he got 80. He got 20. I believe something like that, right?
I'm not sure, but I know she got some votes. So I
She
wonder
got a
if
pretty
those.
good chunk.
Do you think those are people that stayed home, most of them?
Maybe because we know that like Kamala Harris got a tiny bit of support when it came to like Midwest voters.
Hmm.
So there was, and then Trump got a lot of support when it came to working class voters,
Yeah.
and especially in the cities.
That's the thing too. Now we have working class voters, the Republican getting more of that.
Yeah.
Before it used to be more like the lower, the not educated class and lower
Hmm.
in economic. But yeah,
But that
that's
had
just
to do
so
with
scary.
prices.
Yeah.
That comes like that's why I think a lot of Latinos voted for Trump because they wanted these prices to go down. They wanted to support their families and buy them actual meals that wouldn't cost them $20 every time they go to the supermarket. Like I
Yeah.
understand that crisis is still there. Some people are like, hey, maybe she can fix the economy in 4 years, but I need that right now. I need change
Exactly.
right now.
And then people's like, oh, you're not thinking about your people getting deported and things like that. When you're trying to feed your family, and you did what you did to come here, how much money you owe because you got here, or how much, you have to send back to your country. Unfortunately, you don't have the time to think about people's suffering. You think about your own suffering and you want to stop it now.
Yeah.
It's a very selfish thing to do, but it's also a very, survival prime
It,
thing to do.
it's logical.
It's
Logical
logical.
in that
You're
way.
not going to think about people's survival when you're not even sure about your own survival.
Yeah, because if you're going paycheck to paycheck, where you can only buy a carton of eggs every 3 weeks or something like that, because they're now they're $8, some places $10. I resonate with those people. I can empathize with those people because I've been in that situation before in the past,
Hmm.
and I get why that's scary for them. Because Kamala Harris's economic strategy would work, but it would be a slow paced strategy. Where it wouldn't bring dividends fast enough. I think Trump's strategy is even worse, where it may bring some positives now, but it's going to destroy us for the future.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is because we also have to understand when for that's why president should not only be for 4 years because 4 years it take you to fix the system
Yeah,
and then you see your progress in another 4 years.
that's one thing.
So the
Yeah,
progress that we're gonna see now is not gonna be from Donald Trump thing. It's gonna be from Biden's and Kamala Harris
exactly.
things, and we're gonna see that for another 4 years. Then Donald Trump bad things is gonna hit up in the next election cycle
Right,
that we're
exactly.
gonna feel it, but we're gonna blame the president that got that.
Yeah. Like, I'm shocked no one blamed Joe Biden for for Roe versus Wade flipping during his campaign. Like they
Mhm.
could have easily been like, hey, it wasn't our campaign that flipped on Joe Biden's campaign. They could have done that, but
Yeah, but they understood like who was, but they understood who put the justice that
yeah,
they wanted that to be undone because that's what they've been
they wanted that.
campaigning on that. They don't want to give that
They
to
don't see it as a
nobody.
negative.
That's no, they see that as a very positive. Like
Right.
the evangelical and other religious people, they're like, yeah, we wanted to do this a long time. They're not gonna give that to Joe Biden.
Hmm.
That's their win.
Okay, so I get that point, right? I get the point where like because I do think that sometimes presidency should be a bit long. Because you said before, like when Trump enters office, we should see a bit of an increase in economy for the first 6 months, maybe around like hopefully around like March, February. But then by the time we reach the 4 year mark or even the 3 year mark, we're going to see that decrease again.
Mhm.
It got a little bit hidden due to COVID because COVID came and kind of destroyed everyone's economy. So we didn't really blame it on Trump. We just blamed it on this pandemic that showed up. But it was going to go down regardless of the Trump actions during his 2016.
No, but we did blame it on Biden.
No, we when the economy dropped when COVID came in, we didn't
Mhm.
blame it on Trump that the economy dropped.
No,
We blamed it on COVID.
but then when the economy was bad during Biden's presidency
Right. We
before
blamed
he started to work on it, we blame it on him. That's
right.
why we're blaming all these things on him.
But people blame it on him because like, hey, you said that once COVID was gone, we're gonna have an economy again, which didn't happen, and that was because of Trump's awful foreign policies when he was president.
Yeah,
Those things slowed down Biden and made the economy not recover as fast when it could have recovered faster if he had it for the 4 years,
yeah.
right?
If we actually follow the book.
Right, because he had to clean up a lot of Trump's mistakes.
Exactly,
He
because
had
it
to
takes
re-enter the
time.
Paris deal.
Exactly. It does
So,
not if I pass a law today, tomorrow doesn't mean that everything is gonna be fixed.
of
It takes
course,
time for things to change, to transition, to move
but that goes
along.
both ways. It takes
Exactly.
time. Like for example, if we get a Democrat during after Trump presidency is over, there's still going to be a lot of mass deportations happening during the first couple months of the blue
Mhm.
presidency because it's still going to be Trump's policies taking over for some of those deep red states,
Mhm.
unfortunately, and they may even adopt those policies into their state laws. So we'll see how that all goes there.
Yeah, because you cannot just properly stop something.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're both trying to say here. But going back to the topic of the Civil War itself, I think I think maybe we need to have somebody who's just really, really blue. The same way they have somebody who's really, really red. Okay,
Maybe, maybe because Donald Trump has somebody who's really, really bad. Maybe we have to just go
pivot to
to
her base.
yeah to the because people are looking for that. People,
Yeah,
especially young people, they are tired. All these old people telling them what to do.
yeah,
Bunch of racist people that just don't care about
yeah.
the brown people, the minority community, the poor people, because they've
Mhm,
been saying they want to fix it, they haven't done nothing in 40, 50 years.
yeah.
So I feel like they should clean house. People need to clean house.
We need somebody who's prideful about being a progressive Democrat. Because
Yeah.
a lot of progressive Democrats don't feel prideful; they feel like they have to always concede. And
Hmm.
now we learn with Kamala Harris's campaign that those things don't really matter anymore. Like,
And she
we-
to be completely honest, she didn't go like she didn't use or Cortez
yeah,
like
but she
that.
talked about having a gun. Talked
Yeah,
about
yeah,
talked about like how she would have Republicans in her cabinet. Trump's not going to have any Democrats in his cabinet.
yeah,
Like those things turn off Democratic voters.
yeah. We tired. We don't want. Yeah,
Like you can't talk about having a gun when our country has some of the highest mass shootings in all the world. Like we have two mass shootings every single day.
yeah. But she was making a point,
I know it's true.
like you come for me, you're gonna get this
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Like,
The contact was like if you come
yeah,
into my home without me knowing, I'm going to
yeah.
shoot.
Like
I'm going to defend myself.
exactly. You see this friendly woman that's always smiling, that loves to cook on Sundays. Don't come in my home
Don't come unannounced. Don't come unannounced.
unannounced
Yeah.
because you're gonna get this bullets.
Right. And that makes sense. But I feel like a lot of Democrats who are anti-gun, who want more reform, and showed up on one of the gun reform, common sense gun laws. She should have voiced some of those common sense gun laws.
Hmm.
She kept it vague because she wants Republicans to still be a part of her Senate.
Yeah, because you don't want them to say, "Oh, look, they're trying to take our
They're
Second
trying to take our
Amendment."
guns away. So she
Yeah,
kept it vague. If she was like, "Yeah, I want to make it so people can't have, automatic machine rifles. They can't have military grade weaponry." People can be like, "Wait a minute, they're going for my guns." Like then it looks,
yeah.
but those are common sense gun laws.
Well, exactly. Also, we gotta understand Democrats. We gotta stop going for Donald Trump voters.
Yeah,
There's enough of our voters out here. We just have to motivate them to come and vote. We don't need none of those voters. I understand we want to unite the country, but the country's always gonna be either Republican, Democrat. Like it's either one or the other. Let's
yeah,
go for our people. Stop trying to make people cross.
yeah. There is more of us out there.
There's more of us.
Hmm.
As long as we stay in topic and understand what we're talking about. And I'm not blaming this on Kamala Harris. Like I said, she only had 100 days while she was being the vice president of this country.
We're just analyzing our campaign.
Right. We are analyzing the campaign as a general, which is the Biden campaign, and the Democrat Party as a general.
Hmm.
We need to stop trying to lean towards the right. No, we have enough people.
Hmm.
Just motivate our people, our young people, our immigrant. Like, just motivate us.
And get rid of those wolves in sheep clothing. Those people who are
Exactly.
just
And start giving us language that we don't understand, that we have to go Wikipedia and look for things. Talk to us in a basic way.
yeah. Trump uses very elementary school language when he talks to
Exactly.
people.
And he gets all his points across.
Yeah,
And look at him, president again,
America
after he
is
was grabbing
very,
women
very
by the
great.
punani. So let's talk
Yeah.
basic. Like we understand you graduated from Harvard, we understand no, but let's talk basic. You can talk.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's stop like trying to linger us with words and make us all feel dizzy.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We shouldn't have to worry, like, because I know right now people are wondering who should be the new, Democratic, cabinet leader. Who should be like,
Minority leader of the Senate. Who's
what?
going? That's what
Yeah,
they're trying to see. Who's going to be minority leader of
of
Senate?
Senate.
Pelosi, you gotta go.
No, but Pelosi was gone for a minute, but she was still like
No, she.
advising. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was gone for it. But
What's this other guy? The Jewish guy. What's his name? For New York, you gotta go.
mhm.
Schumer, you gotta go.
Chuck Schumer, yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Hakeem Jeffrey, you stay where you at, boo boo. You do your thing.
yeah. I think we need new. I think we need counseling. I think we need new visions. I
Yeah,
think like
new
this
everything.
old, school vision of like, oh, let's go campaigning on a bus. Let's
Hmm.
go campaigning with black people in barber shops. That don't work. That don't
Mm-mm.
work. Black people don't only live in barber shops. Black people don't only go to beauty salons.
No.
We need to campaign further now. We can't just be campaigning on buses and RUVs and doing these bus tours. Like nobody does a bus tour anymore.
Hmm.
We need to be more expansive. We need to be more,
Hmm.
willing to have more innovative. Like that's why I love about
Yeah,
Kamala Harris.
but we
Kamala
also
Harris is very
understand it.
innovative.
But we also understand she had more than 100 days. She would have been able to do all this and educate people
Hmm.
on what they do and talking about, they should be talking about more what they do.
Yeah,
Forget about Donald Trump, what yeah, he was doing. And come out when things start looking good, be like, yes, things are looking good because of the policy that Biden created and this time, and
right.
start talking about that. So he
Yeah,
don't take credit for the good things that the Democrat did.
the campaign starts now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just talk about that.
Hmm.
Like, no, this is being good because of this and this and this and this, which Donald Trump's trying to take away.
Right, exactly.
Like, educate people in the process of talking. Just don't talk to talk.
Yeah, I think people need to definitely explain those policies and those things in a digestible way. In a way that people aren't like, "Hey, look at this law." Talk about like we need to have it more digestible.
Yeah, it needs to be more digestible for everybody.
Hmm.
And don't think that everybody knows what terms and things you're talking about. Speak to them like you're speaking to an 8-year old, to a 7-year old.
Hmm.
Explain to them
Yeah,
what you're talking about. Connect with them.
those are our voters.
Those are our voters,
Yeah.
right? We politics already very difficult, very, 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 a lot of things in it. So don't make it more difficult than what it is.
And reward the people who vote for you. Like black people have been voting for Democrats 90% of the time, 80% of the time,
Exactly.
and we
Like, don't feel bad
yeah,
for going to black.
throw us a
Go.
bone. Like, don't give us something that we deserve because we deserve more than what you guys give us, and we stay loyal to your party. Like, show us why we deserve to still be there. You give incentives for people voting for Democrats. Not saying you have to be Elon Musk to get $1 million random raffles because that's illegal. But
But if you can do that, do it too. Because if you did it, let's do it for us también.
right? Because it seems like it's allowed because he did
Yeah,
it. No one
whatever is
cares.
allowed to do, just do it. Don't feel like, oh, Leah Musk did it, I'm not gonna do it. No, you do that.
Yeah,
Release those millions of dollars.
that $1 billion campaign, that money's still there.
Right.
That didn't use all of it. But
So release that and keep it up. Keep the $25,000 for new house owners, for new business, things like that. Let's keep talking about that. Let's
yeah,
move more
and keep
about
it,
that.
keep introducing those laws. Even if Donald Trump was the one to write those laws down, we can still say they was a Democratic seat candidate, a congressman who added that law in there. We still take priority for that. I think even though we are giving Trump all the power right now, we can still introduce some laws that Trump might accept and not know it was a Democrat who made those laws. In the first place.
And if he doesn't accept it, at least we have it there. So the next person that comes, those laws
Exactly.
already there. Let's just keep walking. I know they're not gonna accept nothing for us. We know
And we
they're gonna.
blamed them for it. Like, hey,
Yeah,
we had this law that would have helped,
yeah,
government grants out, and they said no to it. Yeah.
exactly. And they're gonna get rid of the filibuster. So
Yeah.
we right now we don't have no. We are in their
Yeah.
mercy, like you can say.
Yeah, our only safety guard is those people who said they were never Trumpers in the Republican Party who are going to hopefully side with Democrats.
When they have to.
We have to hope that the Republicans do a lot more infighting than they did during the first year, during the beginning of this year when there was a lot of infighting going on, where there were like two people about to get ousted. We had to hope for that. We had to hope that Democrats just can't govern themselves, which we saw already happen. When they had the House of Representatives, they went into didn't it go into a governmental shutdown like 4 times in one
Hmm.
year. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can govern themselves better and help the country. But it seems like they might just be making even more mistakes from what I
And let's
understand.
just hope that his cabinet picks are a little bit better,
Yeah,
and the best of his bash, which is not too much to ask for,
yeah.
and we're gonna get what we deserve.
Yeah, we're gonna well, not what we deserve, what they deserve. The people who
Well,
voted
we
for
we here too, so
them. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it all goes, but we are reaching that time in the podcast. We're gonna start wrapping it up. As I said before, you can find our podcast anywhere where you watch podcasts. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube as you listen to us right now. We are on Apple Podcasts. If you guys are watching it in any of the other places, feel free to like it, thumbs it up, give it a 5 stars, comments so we can know that you're watching or listening.
and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please be nice about them. Like,
Mhm.
we just here talking about it. We're not trying to be professionals. We just try to use this outlet to let some of this energy go, because it's very frustrating.
Mhm.
And I'm so happy that I'm able, like, coming even to do the podcast today. My energy's really low. My energy's really like but I'm happy that at least I let that energy release form of energy.
Yeah.
So I'm good about that.
And we hope people who are listening to this have a little bit more hope in them as well. We talked about the pros and cons of the election. We talked about how Kamala Harris had a historic election, how we still had a lot of Senate wins in swing states that we should be proud of as a Democratic Party. I think overall we're gonna have a pretty rocky 4 years, but we'll find the good and the bad, right? We'll still fight for what we believe
Is
in
that
that
a
way.
question? Statement.
It's a rhetorical question. Rhetorical
Question,
question for
yeah.
sure. But we'll figure it out. But I want to let you guys go and have a good one. And enjoy your day.
Yes, enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye bye.
Bye.